A hell of a Sunday for New York football. Two opposite sides. If you're a Giants fan, you're kind of scratching your head with a 63-yard field goal. If you're a New York Jets fan, you are jumping up and down and going, finally, we've got the Sam Darnold that we hope we did. And talking a little Jets football today, I thought we'd brought in somebody who covers them on a consistent basis, one of the best Jets podcasts out there. It's Let's Talk Jets Radio. His name is Tyson Roush, and he joins us via the Miami Acura hotline. So, Tyson, thanks for taking a few minutes out, my friend.
Oh, thank you, man. You got me on a good day with the big Jets victory.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, this is probably going to be a much better phone call than it was with the Giants reporters here just a few minutes ago. But let's talk Jets, man. I got to tell you, when last week when the line came out in this game and the Jets were favored and you had Denver coming into town, there were a lot of people, myself included, that were going, why are the Jets favored in this game? And after what we witnessed yesterday, I guess we now know why the Jets were favored heading into this game.
Well, it was almost a perfect storm, to be honest with you. The Broncos are coming off an emotional loss, short week, East Coast trip, and the Vultures were circling, man. Like, the Jets needed to win bad. Darnold wasn't playing that good. Todd Bowles was facing all kinds of heat. So this team had to rally, and they're playing at home for the first time. So it was kind of like, all fell in the right hands for them, and I kind of, to be honest with you, I kind of expect that yesterday.
Well, I got to tell you, a lot of people were very concerned with the offense and the kind of taking the training wheels off of Sam Darnold. A lot of people felt that it was being too safe for too long with him, and obviously it helps when you have a running game to open some things up. But it appears that Robbie Anderson actually still plays for the Jets, and they allowed Darnold to kind of air it out yesterday.
Well, that was all built off the offensive line. The offensive line's been struggling. They have a new coach. They're going to a zone blocking scheme. So for a couple of weeks there, he was running for his life on the field. When you're running to the sideline and you get down. So he finally had time yesterday. The running game helped out. And Robbie Anderson's one of the best deep threats in football when he has some time. So, I mean, it worked out, and it was just fun to watch finally.
Yeah, it was actually. It was really fun to watch. In fact, Tyson Roush joining us at Talk Jets Radio on Twitter. Make sure that you guys check out the Jets podcast. And listen, offensive line played great. Defense finally played. Special teams. It's one of the first times that we've seen all three facets of the Jets team actually come and play and bring their A game.
Yeah, especially on defense. I mean, the game against the Jaguars was embarrassing to new levels of Jets embarrassing. So it was nice to see them bounce back. They have a lot of talent there. And then Andre Roberts has been a blessing as a punt returner. So like you said, they're all finally, it's a young team. They're all starting to figure it out. I mean, it's just a complete game, a 60-minute game, which they haven't done all year. It's a refreshing change, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, well, listen, they're not going to run. They're not going to run for 312 yards every week here, but there are some positives to take away against a pretty good front seven on the Denver Broncos. But there are still some concerns. It was good to see that Robbie Anderson showed up finally, but then all of a sudden, Quincy Enunwa was nowhere to be found. It was kind of like those two switched bodies, and now all of a sudden Robbie Anderson's there and no Quincy Enunwa. And it's like they've got to do a better job of kind of spreading the wealth around at some point.
Well, they threw several passes to Quincy. I think he's battling a thumb injury or something like that. So he had some opportunities, some drops, some bad breaks there. They got Jermaine Kearse involved. And then Neil Sterling's been out as well, the tight end, which was going to be a big part of their offense. Once he comes back from a concussion, that could spread things out too because you have a safety valve in the middle of the field. So I think, they're coming along. Quincy has been great, but, getting Robbie open deep, that's going to open up so many options, underneath the running backs and tight ends.
Yeah, well, that's right. You keep running for 300 yards, you're going to open up a whole lot of things. Tyson Roush joining us here via the Miami Acura hotline. Leonard Williams, enough cannot be said about the job that he has done over the last couple of games. This is finally the Leonard Williams we were all promised, we were told about, and he is becoming an absolute beast on the defensive front for this team.
Well, it's funny. Was it 2 weeks ago, the fans and media were starting to get on him because he's playing for a new contract that wasn't putting up any numbers.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, he's just been a man amongst boys, just completely dominating. And that's kind of occurred to Todd Bowles as well, because they moved him around. He was a linebacker yesterday. He was standing up as a linebacker yesterday on one blitz. So they're using him differently, and then his natural athletic ability, his talent, took over.
How much of what they did defensively yesterday do you put on Todd Bowles? I mean, do you see, obviously, defensive coordinator is out with a serious illness, but how much do you think that defense changed with Todd Bowles pulling the strings yesterday?
I don't think it really changed all that much. I think their communication significantly improved, and that was something that Jamal Adams and Marcus May and those guys all talked about, where they had a meeting on Friday and said, we got to clean this up. Like, it was just mental mistakes, lack of communication, and once they cleaned that up, I mean, they were all flying around. There was no blown assignments. Like I said, that Jaguars game was a fiasco, and all that stopped, and they didn't even blitz that much. They usually blitzed more. They actually blitzed less yesterday.
And I think you also got to point out the job that the secondary is doing here, because Morris Claiborne has done a great job. Tremaine Johnson has been hurt, although he was forced kind of back into that game yesterday once Buster Screen went out with a concussion protocol. But you got to give them a lot of credit, especially Morris Claiborne, on what he's been able to do with a less than 100% Tremaine Johnson out.
Yeah, Tremaine Johnson was out. Buster Screen left early with a concussion. So they had to go to Dow Roberts. They had to go to the rookie Nickerson. It kind of makes you think Claiborne picked up a big role, because then he took over the number 1 spot. And then you also got to look at Adams and May as safeties are like corners. So they did a great job, and J.J. Wilcox too.
They all did, and it was quite impressive and refreshing to see, because, listen, for Denver, for all their faults, they still got a lot of talent on both sides of that ball. So the Jets being able to do what they did yesterday was pretty damn impressive. But where do you go from here, Tyson? You got Indianapolis and Andrew Luck coming up next. The kind of mood of the team here, is it nice to get the win and we're moving on, or what do we expect here moving forward?
Well, if you follow the Jets for a long time like us, you know that they notoriously play poorly after a big win. They never handle success well. They always come out flat. So now it's like you want to see finally build off of this. Build off this win, keep playing consistent defense, let the offense keep playing, but that's something under Todd Bowles they've never, ever done. They always fall flat the following week. So, you're like cautiously optimistic. You want to see them grow, but we're all kind of worried about this big flat performance coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you don't want to get let down, but moving forward here, what do you want to see? Tyson Roush joining us. What do you want to see the Jets improve on next time out on the field? What do you need to see in order to really make you a believer of this team?
It's all about Sam Darnold, man. This season is all about Sam Darnold continuing to grow, continuing to develop. His passing numbers weren't great yesterday. He had two or three excellent throws. He had some misses. So you want to see the offense continue to grow, develop, become more dynamic, spread the ball around. But for me, this season is all about Sam Darnold, and that's really about it, man. It's not about wins and losses. Just keep growing, keep improving, getting these young guys playing time, and see what happens.
Yeah, well said, man. Big game coming up. I mean, it was a good victory, but now it's time to go on, see what you do against. This ain't Case Keenum coming in here. This is Andrew Luck coming in here. A very healthy Andrew Luck, it appears. So this is going to be a really good test for the Jets, and it should be a very fun game to watch. Tyson Roush, Talk Jets Radio, at Talk Jets Radio. Make sure you guys check him out on Twitter. Some great stuff. You JETS fans, this is the place to go to get all your Jets information. Tyson, appreciate the time, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Looking forward to doing this again.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Tyson Roush, Talk Jets Radio. Make sure you guys check him out.